Good evening, everyone, my fellow travelers on spaceship Earth. It is I, hoping that music works this time. Or it might just spin. Oh, check us. Got music. Who knew? Well, guys, here we are, being us. I wonder what I mean. What does it mean when I have notifications? Oh, look, I'm all caught up. Oh, why'd you say I had notifications? The Empire Business? What does that mean? What does that mean? Oh, I have 52 followers. Look at us. We have streamed for 8 hours. Although in this case, we have streamed for 51.31 hours. We've streamed on 22 of 7 different days. Still waiting for an average of 3 viewers. That's all right. No, that's kind of cool. Now we can reorganize viewers as VIPs. What does that mean? Community? Oh. Okay. Yeah, but how do I viewer rewards? I don't know any of this stuff. This is all way beyond me. Okay, so well, it said I could do new stuff, but now what are alerts? Custom alerts. Alert box widget. Okay, well, if you are wondering why I am not doing any of these things, a lot of it has to do with the fact that I have zero clue what I'm doing. I really don't have any idea what I'm doing half the time. Got a little chat settings thing. Well, there you go. No idea. I've got 53 followers. That's cool. Always cool. Always cool. I feel like it's very meta to sit here on stream talking about Twitch. It's like doing all the things at the same time. All right. I don't know if we've got music here. Oh, there's music out there. Good job. Good job, us, for doing music. So, I've been doing an awful lot of capturing information over there and digitizing things with my camera. And I'm kind of tired at the moment of doing that, so I think I'm going to try to do something else tonight. No idea what, but I'm going to do something else. So I'm going to move over to here or something. All right. And there we go. I don't know why I did that, but okay. I don't know what I was doing exactly, so that's all right. We're good. Switch over to my drawing monitor. Put ourselves a new piece of paper out there. I like new pieces of paper. They're blank. Big, blank pieces of paper. That's what I'm into. Big, blank pieces of paper. I'm just saying. All right, move this up here so I don't have to worry about it. You guys can see me. I'm in the corner. That's me in the corner. That's me trying to figure out how I'm supposed to. I don't remember what I was saying. All right. Let's see what we've got. I'm gonna look through some of the things that I hang out here to do this very thing with. Like, what the heck am I doing? Does anybody know what I'm doing? I don't even know what I'm doing. So it's all good. Love this kid's look on her face. It's just awesome. She looks properly dismayed. She's like, yeah, I'm dismayed. That's funny. All right. I've picked the piece that I'm going to use. Have it mounted up there. I'm going to block it out first. I feel like I'm about to get very annoyed with this picture, but that's all right. So I'm just blocking out and kind of just looking at my shapes here. Now, even that's a little risky. There we go. This is just roughing in the blocks. Right. And this is me using AI to its best advantage. Because all I'm doing is taking somebody else's AI picture, which they were rendering out on Midjourney, and I'm just drawing it. Because it's just practice for me. Doesn't really matter. So I'm not that worried. And if they, nobody really could get mad about me doing that, I guess. I mean, I guess they could if they really wanted to. But I feel like that would be kind of hypocritical. All right. Now on to the parts that just make me hate life a lot, and that is like her getting her eyes and stuff like that figured out. So, for those of you who do not know how this works, usually the face is lined up in two axes. And kind of this guy going for it first, right through here. I'm going to have then this guy going for it second here. This line matches the ear pretty good. And this is the eyebrows. So eyebrows are here. Which kind of matches where we are on the picture up above. I'm not going to let you see the picture above because I'm a meanie, and that's all it is. Then kind of heading to the bottom of the face here, kind of lining this in. I've got sort of the bottom of her chin is right here, and that will give me a definition of her mouth right here. Puts her nose right here. And that curve goes like this. And then we start the eyes. The eyes will always be sort of in this like zone like this. And whatever the eye width is, it's going to be one eye width apart, this eye over here, which also fits the picture, the original. All right, so we're just laying some of this stuff in and giving it structure. That other eye sucks, man. This eye sucks. This eye's fine. It's still not. It's too far over. Which is why it's wonderful to be working here. I'm going to take this eye and just move it here. And that's part of the problem right there. The eyebrows are too low. So what I'll do, bring that eyebrow up, because even monkeys can fall from trees. Today I am the monkey. Now I'm putting in structure that doesn't actually exist, so that I know where I'm supposed to be with everything. No monkeys. No monkeys. Hey, Sarge. So this is one of those sayings that I love to tell my kids all the time. And it's a Japanese saying that I have adopted with great glee. It's Sarumo kikara uchiru, even monkeys fall from trees. And it's a great saying, because what it really means is even the best of us will make a mistake every so often. So this is all topographical, so I can do as much as I want on here. I'm going to also kind of define this shadow zone here. And she's got this lovely shadow that goes like this, and then goes like this for a piece of hair that goes that way. That's kind of cool. And his hair kind of comes down. And actually, her hair really comes into a curtain like this. It's really nice. It's a lovely design. This picture, so. How are you doing this evening, Sarge? How you doing? Oof, that's brutal. I assume not continuous, just this week's line was 80 hours. Continuous would be even more brutal. I mean, oh, yeah. Well, congratulations for being the new treasurer. I'm not 100% sure if we should be, congratulating you or not. Kind of like, well, I mean, Right. Thanks. Depends on whether you wanted it or where you draft it. That's the difference. Yeah, no. Typically speaking, I tend to wonder whether, it's something I want or not want. Right. So definitely it's, congratulations, somewhat sarcastic. Well, not sarcastic, but you get the idea. All right, so we're gonna. Boy, we're a pair of people, aren't we tonight? Well, we're live. All right, come in here and just kind of get some of that shadow that I'm trying to get kind of over into this spot. I want to kind of put the shadow here. Obviously, we're kind of going into this section right through here and a little bit through there too. Live and in color. And then there's this wonderful light section right through here, but it's going to have a bit of darkness just right around it, right the area where we're going to kind of go into it, and we'll blend that back out in a minute. Okay, just kind of back this back in. Otherwise, this is going to look really strange once we take our guides away. Or off color. Yeah. I think off color is probably more apt for you and me. So this is highlighting the shadow through the bottom part of our nose there, but the light comes over the top. If you're wondering where we are, this is where we are, right? So at this point, we've kind of brought in enough of the blocking to kind of get an idea of where things are, kind of get an idea of what we're trying to deal with the face. So this helps a little bit. Hey, Carrie. How are you doing tonight? So we're still roughing this in. So I can go on ahead and start getting just a little bit of smoothing in this right through here. Smooth this out a little more. Kind of get it. Excellent. Excellent. Try to blend down through the bottom of her chin. The chin's going to be a dramatic area because we've got a lot of dark as we go into the neck and down into that area. So we're going to bring this down quite a bit before we put the brush back in. I'm going to come back around here. I'm just going to come up through the part of our neck there so that we can at least see where we're dealing with. That's very dramatic color change there. That's even darker than we're going to have the rest of her face be. But bringing my guides back in when I come across here with her eyebrows, just so we can see where they are. Because I'm going to come back through with those eyebrows later. But for right now, I kind of want to see where they are and make sure I've got the right or the right graphic design of the face, trying to get just the planes of the face straightened out, right? The other thing we're missing, of course, is her lips. Since this was an AI generated drawing, her lips are like bubblegum pink, which is kind of ridiculous, but you know, I'll go with what I'm going with here. We'll do what we can. Work with what we're working with. Her lips are bowed quite a bit, and the bottom lip is quite a bit out. So she's got her lips parted slightly in the picture I'm dealing with over here. She's looking somewhat surprised and looking a little, shocked. So pulling that out of there, making sure that the lips are in the right place, and I'm actually kind of feeling like they might not be. Just kind of giving it a look. I may have to move them down or move them over or move the bottom of the face, which is probably what I really need to do. I'll bet you that that's part of this problem here. So we're going to go through here and take that white that's right here and just absolutely define across here. I don't want it messing with me. It's messing with me. It's messing with my understanding of where the face is. And it's messing with my understanding of where this part of her face goes, like up and around. So bring this around, and underneath her chin, or underneath her bottom lip, we've got kind of this cliff where the light doesn't pass. And we'll go through that area again, back through this area. But now I'm looking at her lips, and I'm actually kind of thinking, if I were to actually move this, I'd want to move it down just a smidge, like so. Well, you moved the wrong layer. Well, that's interesting. Did not expect that to happen. So looking at, just where, this is where I eyeball it, right? Looking across it here, I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm going to do it without the guides, though, because that'll help me a little bit more to try to understand. Part of it's this. I'm getting misled by my own lighting effect here. So her chin is straight across like so. So gotta be not afraid to come all the way down in here, which is what I am doing. I'm being totally afraid to come down there and mess with that. Okay. The AI drawing has kind of gotten her features as somewhat Asian, somewhat Korean, specifically, which means that there's a lot less of the high cheekbones we still get, but we also get a lot less of the roundness in the bottom part of the chin. That's typical of kind of mainlanders. So I'm going to kind of try to cut this back a little bit. Just bring that back up so it comes in there. And this, we're just talking about cheekbones and structure. Looking at the bone structure underneath here, trying to make sure we've got the bone structure figured out correctly. Okay? So I got kind of following along the structure here. I don't know why I'm doing this tonight. I was supposed to do a whole bunch of other work, and I'm not. So here I am. Shrug. Same thing I've got going over here. Noticing that on the actual picture, you can see the bottom of her chin just a little bit right there. Kind of going back that way. So I'm going to bring this highlight back around like so. So there we go. Her nose is very small and not very defined. I just want to bring this back. We're going to go back in with the mixing tool. I like to use the mixing tool a lot. I'll lay stuff down and then go right in there with that mixing tool, and that just brings a lot of the color through. We're going to have to change her color patterns anyway because, frankly, she's way yellower than I thought. I just grabbed a color and then dumped the color down on here, and I'm like, well, might as well. There's no time like the present, so let's just go ahead and adjust that over to the correct color. Do it now while we still can, because once we get into this, we're going to have a, there we go, much pinker. We'll come back in and like adjust things, but for right now, that's where I want to go. Good night, Sarge. Thank you for joining me. All right. We are, what, 30 minutes into this drawing? Not bad. I'll go through here and just soften this up a little. This is the light coming in off of and we can even kind of look at kind of the idea of bringing in a pink in here just to bring some color into this. So if you've ever known the zones of the face, here are the zones of the face, for those of you who are ever wondering. The red zone's in the middle, the yellow zone's on the top, and the blue zone is to the bottom. And I'll show you what I mean here in a second. So you can almost take, quite literally, take a red right through the middle like this, a yellow on the top like so, and a blue on the bottom like so, to zone in the face. Hey, Merrick. How you doing, my brother? And you do that, and you can almost see that this actually does somewhat fit, right? Oddly, that fits such a weird way. Obviously, we're not going to keep this way, but it adds all of the right sort of dimensions that you get, dimensionality to the face, adding a whole level of visibility and whatnot. So, how you doing today, Merrick? And though this is a little dramatic, if we were to take the same kind of concept, let's take this blue, take my normal skin brush, and just kind of brush down into this area here like so. And I know it makes her look kind of like she's got a beard, but you get the idea here. This is really kind of the way this goes. This bottom part doesn't get as much blood as the rest of our face does. Oh, got a dentist appointment tomorrow. Hate dentist appointments. Ugh. Right? I'm gonna blend this in a little bit, just kind of smear it out a little. And kind of go through here. It makes it really kind of funny because with this cute girl, we've got kind of a beard going, and that's kind of funny. But work with me on this one. We'll see what I'm talking about in a minute here. But it's funny. Somebody told me this condition, this way of doing things, and I'm fascinated and intrigued by it, right? Because now we've got kind of this red that goes through here, right through like this, and through that section, and even out on the nose. And we just kind of go like this and have this red that does this and kind of goes this way. Although it does make her look like she's some kind of warrior all of a sudden, Even that guy kind of goes just a little above her eyes, like so, and into this area right here. But we have to remember the bone of the nose. The bone of the nose blocks a lot of the blood that's coming through this zone of your face, so you still don't have quite that. You take the yellow and just go up through here like this, right? And just kind of do this and kind of press that in. And when we do, we just hit multiply on this, and that multiplies that in. And then we get kind of this effect. And all you do at this point is just kind of work with it, work it in a little bit, kind of get it into the system here, right? Work them together, kind of blend it out, stuff like this. And these areas where they are blended together, you kind of get this kind of thing going for it. And you do all this and kind of move through here and just kind of make a mess of it, right? And just kind of spread it on out. And then once we've done that, we can bring this in as an add. And maybe not that. Maybe we want like, we could do color and just bring it down. All right, that's too much. I want multiply again, right? Just bring it all the way down. And that gives instantly a lot more effect of what's going on. I wonder if I could do like soft overlay, or maybe I want screen, right? Because we're getting a lot of that yellow, but I'm not getting as much of that blue as I want. So if I do add, that still doesn't come up with what I'm looking for. Darker color, that's what we're looking for. So we're darkening it out. I don't think I'm going to be able to do this with all of that, but I get a lot of the color mixes in there, and you can kind of see where those mixes go. And in a lot of ways that works. Hard mix. There we go. That gets us that yellow that I was looking for. All right. With this, I can take that and still just kind of work this in. You know, I work this as the way it goes. Just kind of make this work. The best part about it is it's pretty straightforward and straight up like what it does, but it gives depth and color to the painting, the drawing in its own way. It gives it depth and color. I don't know if I like that as much. Color dodge? It's like, how about I just kill you? It really hated color dodge. All right, it's not happy with that. That's okay. Not a lot on there. I mean, like I said before, we don't want to put a lot on here to kind of make that work, but you end up with a lot of that being that kind of setup. You know, like I said, all you got is this zone, right? That's it. These 3 zones. That's the way humans are all built, and it's all about the blood transferring to different parts of your body and transferring around and stuff like that. And of course, since the face is turned a little, we want to kind of adjust for that, but you get the idea. We're still at basic shapes and colors. I'm going to go on ahead and mix this into its primary color system. So probably going to try to find maybe something really vivid light. I don't know. I'm trying to find a mix pattern that I like. Vivid light's not bad. I just wish I'd get more out of that blue down there, because there's a lot of blue at the bottom. I wish I could get more out of that without getting the dramatic red and orange. And I'm not going to really find that. And that's okay. That's okay. I'm okay. I'm okay with that. How are you? I'm going ahead and flatten that in. Now this is part of the painting. So if I start really brushing around here and messing with this, I'm going to get different hues and colors from this. And it'll start to really give me a lot more dynamics in this. And it'll look a little bit better, and it'll look a little richer. And my colors will be a little bit more standoffish, and they'll look good, and they will blend properly like it's supposed to. So in here, I'm getting that blend from that rosy cheek that I really want. Through here is what I really want, that rosy cheek. Right? And at this point now, I'm kind of worried about this right eye, or this left eye, I guess, because it's really on the left. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to move it, because now I can, and rotate it just slightly, as though she has these lovely Asian eyes. They are not as almond shaped as people continue to think that they are. I don't know. People think almond shapes are a little different than they really end up being. So there's that. I'm going to go back in here with my brush. This is my skin brush that I got from Will Opp. I love this brush. One of my favorites here. Let's go back in here, and I'm just closing up this patching system. I'm patching it in, right? So kind of going direct into here like that, heading out like so. I'm thinking I may have made an error. I think, actually, I'm not ecstatic about this. There we go. I deselect that. Her eye is correct. I think what we're missing is her hair. Because in the initial drawing, her hair comes all the way down like this, and then moves over. Comes out like to the side, like that. So I'm going to put that in there like that, and then we're going to go back in and we're going to fix this eye. So let's start working on the details. Everybody knows that your eye is your window, your soul. So we start with the eyes as much as possible, coming in and just kind of define this shape, right? She's wearing kind of a mascara, so we're going to define this shape, and knowing that I want my eyes to be somewhat level on the bottom, she's going to end up with something that kind of looks like this going for the underside here. And take this and move this around, so like that, and under like this. Right, and I'm going to come around this corner here and go through this section here. Her eyes pull quite a bit inward, which is what happens with us in youth. These little center sections of our eyes pull in a little bit more than they do when we get older. So give her that highlight up there that moves that in. But I'm actually going to kind of move this part of her eye in, and just give it a little bit of a shape that I want. Even that shape around. I really want this light to pull like so. Okay. Now I'm going to use some of this brown that I've got down here. I'm just going to underscore the bottom part of this eye so that I know where the bottom of this eye goes. And then I'll blend it back in, so it's not going to be a problem. And this is a holding spot for a more bluish tone. I'm really going to go in here and I'm going to put in sort of this blue. And that'll take the place of that white that's in here, because the scalia of our eyes are not exactly white, and we're never going to have them be white. So you want these to be sort of a bluish color. That's the way it's always going to be, like so. And truth of the matter is, it's going to get dark in here on this side right over here like this as we get away from the front part of this and all along this side. So we're going to do this, then just go out to the sides like so. And I'll take my blender and I'll get in here and I'll blend this in. And at some point, we're going to come back into this lacrimal, but right now, we're just going to keep blending through. I'm going to keep blending in here. I'm going to keep blending and even blend in a little bit from above, because this is going to give us that effect of shadow. Right, so I'm going to tap into her eyelashes a little bit, and that'll help me get more of that shadow in that I want. Right, look in here and look at this shadow. And then I'm going to come back in with this guy, tap it in, take my skin brush, and I'm going to actually get in here a little bit. Young women usually put more eyeliner on the outside of their eyes, on the top part, because it makes their eyes look bigger. And so we tend to have quite a bit more of this heavier, thicker eyeliner on the front part of the eye, or the eyelash, I mean. And it gets thin to this point here. And then we'll pull to the top as well. There we go. Now, she's Asian, which means she has what we call the epicanthric fold, which is that fold where the eye does not, the inner part of the eyelid doesn't sit back against the eyeball. Instead, it's puffier and it folds forward. That's a telltale of Asian eyes. And the reason why that's there, I believe, and I think this is sort of anthropologically correct, is that it protects against sea waves, ocean spray and salt water. And so you get kind of this protection from that epicanthrical fold. We need to give her her iris and her pupil as we go in here. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to go over and swing to brown, because her eyes are actually probably brown. I mean, really, they're not black, but you know, we'll put in some brown here, just kind of work this in. But no matter what, this center section of her eye will always be absolutely black. So I'm going to go on ahead and just kind of put in here a little bit of brown around the outside edges. I'm going to keep coming in like this, but I've got a small amount right around this part here in her eye that I can already see is a brighter color than the rest of this. So kind of go through here. We're just mixing it in. Right? In quite a bit more of this light moving in through here like so. Okay. So moving that in, now I'm going to take my blender tool. I love my blender. I'm going to kind of do this. And I'm going back and forth against the iris. And the reason that I'm against the pupil, and the reason is because this is the way eyes work. We've got this ability to kind of, we've got these, it's just the way that our eye works, I guess. It's this fabric of our eye. Now, looking at the picture, I can tell already that we're missing a little bit here because we need to come back up. Her eyes are, she's scrutinizing a little bit. So her eye is kind of, bottom eyelid's up, kind of coming up on this. To boot, I'm going to move through here and just give a little bit of shade to the bottom, right like this. And look across like that. Now we're going to also do this part here in the same sort of color right through that area. So I'm just going to kind of push this through and then just come back in and just shade this in. No matter what, this area has got to get darker in here too. And it's all about knowing where we're dealing with on the body and the shape of the body here. We're kind of doing this number like so. I'm just kind of pressing this in. Now, of course, eyes are not perfect. And so when you're like, well, what is he doing? I mean, like, we're putting all this back in. And really, the truth is, we're going to kind of push this into the eye here. And we're going to kind of work around this corner. We're going to work around this corner until we get kind of back through this area. All right. I have been pretty scared of messing around with this eyeliner up here, and it really needs to be serious. Like, we got to go in here and kind of do this number here, because her eyelashes are very dense, and it gives a little bit more of this eye's kind of look to it. I'm going to pull this out too, down here. Because I really am having a problem making this eye level. It's my biggest problem. There we go. Just leveling this out seems to be a big issue. There we go. I'm taking this area right here. We're going to actually push this light and come out right like this, and just kind of a little bit of light, just a little bit in there. Kind of go through here, do this. I'll just blend that in. Right. Now, eyes look a whole lot better if you put the shine on it, so we're going to do that. Now, usually, the shine reflects what's around it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and instead of taking my G brush, which I could do, I'm actually going to bring up on one layer. We're going to do this. Do that is what I'm going to do. And this time we're actually going to take that G pen. Right? Taking a G pen at this size is kind of scary. So we're going to come around like so, and then go like this, do that. We're going to kind of do this and go like that. And then I can take this and come back around and just cut it short like so. And then bring that up. Bring that up. Right? And then you take the Painterly blender and we just come up through here like this. Okay. Let's get some variety in this. And doesn't make it look like it's just one thing going on there. I'm going to kind of cut this a little bit more, I think. So. And in fact, one of the other things I'm noticing in the original eye is that there is some kind of like thing here, just like sky colored. And it's just enough that what we're going to do is we're going to bring this sky through like so. And what happens is this, her eyelash is going to start cutting into this, right? So we'll have this kind of going across like so. And then her eyelash, you're going to see her eyelash in this. So we're going to take I'm going to do stuff like this. Right? Just cutting through it there and get the eyelashes in there. That helps that whole effect right there, just feeling like it's. And this doesn't actually do that. It goes like so. I'll come around this corner like so. There we go. And I actually kind of feel like I'm going to take and I'm just going to soften this out right through here. And that feels too artificial for me, so I'm just going to touch back on that one. There we go. Back through like so. Yeah. Now to match this. Okay. So when I deal with the actual eyelashes, I'm going to use my G pen on here. And I'm going to take this and nope. Really, my G pen's being cranky. Yeah, that's not working. G pen is having issues today. That's right, we'll get there. One way or to another. Now we look at it from distance, it looks a whole lot more real. And now, because that eye is starting to frustrate me, I'm going to move to a different part of her body. So there. I'm going to do this nose, which already sort of started in here. The nose has this interesting curve to it. It just looks like that. It's the name of this sort of shadow here. It's kind of going this way. And then it arches across like that and then comes down. So this is the shape that it's defining across her face. And it doesn't define anything under there. In fact, this is kind of this pinkish color, which I'll merge in with it at some point. Although I do get a little bit of tip into this point right there, which is kind of cool. And then there's a little bit around that corner there. Just kind of bring this in. So that's the highlight of that. And then giving it just that little bit of a curve to the tip, and then moving upward. And I'm going to move this way as well. So the effect you're seeing now, what we call subsurface scattering. Her nose is slightly, with sunlight, the nose is going to illuminate. So you're going to get a little bit of this illumination from that. We're going to call it's called subsurface scattering. And it's just where we kind of get in there and then things kind of look a little there. And really, this particular person's nose has this ridge that's going like that. So I'm going to try to influence that a little by coming down here and coming back up, like so. Just showing that there's a divot there, moving around there, and then we're going to move up through here like so. And at some point, we're going to have to come back around with a brown, a dark brown, something like this, maybe even a little darker, and just come into this inner section right in here, just a little bit right there, just to give transition between those two colors so that it doesn't look so weird. There we go. There. The shadow then moves down and through and kind of this way. Let me get this other side on the other. It kind of does that same thing. It's tilted in. She gets this little bit of a, like a little bit of a, like a little divot like right through here where it just connects to the bottom underneath here. And I'm just going to kind of go through there and that can do that. And give this light through here so that it illuminates the side of it. But then it goes around this corner and gets caught up under here. Right. This darkness, real dark. So, right. Not a lot, but I'm gonna blend that back through. So there we go, like so. Just blending that through. I'm going to blend through this color change through this pattern right here. And same thing, we're just going to blend it in. Right? Getting a little bit of color coming through that, and this part right through here just gives a little bit of that pink. It indicates that the sun is kind of moving around that part of her nose there. There we go. Kind of liking it. There we go, like so. And we're going to come back here on this side. We've got a little bit more of this shading that's got to kind of go through here and do this. But the idea is that it's illuminating this part of her nose. But I'm also noticing that it's not as dramatic on this side, although we do get this right here, kind of indicate where the edge of that nose is right there. So we're going to make sure we know where that line is, that demarcation line, so we don't go past it too much. Their nose kind of comes down and goes under like so, but really, we've got way too much light on this side. So I'm going to come back through here with this and just kind of pick up this side back here. And we're going to come back through on this and just do that. Because this vanishes entirely here. I put that white line on that side, not paying very much attention to it at all, apparently. So I'm going to come back through here. All we've got is this line right here, which indicates that part of her nose comes up and around. And this. And that's it. It's not even that dramatic back here. In fact, kind of have more of bring this all down like so. Yeah. I don't know, man. I feel like I've walked off the path, but that's okay. I just wanted to do something not what I've done before. Her nose is much smaller. In fact, I think I'm feeling kind of like I may have messed up this nose quite a bit. Maybe on this side only, though. I may just go ahead and pull this back and try to look at that structure again. Right, so I'm kind of looking at this. This is good. That's not bad. But this is right here. This kind of does this. And this is right here. That makes some sense. Much better. Now, I guess if I want to really check it, I can bring this back in and look at it again. I have to have some faith that the negative space is correct. You know what I mean? You've kind of got to have some faith that this negative space is right. And that's what we're looking at here. What is this negative space saying? We've got one eye going pretty good. We're going to come in and do this other eye while we're at it. because the other eye is just a suggestion at this point in time. I need to fix that. All right. This little guy right here is called the lacrimal. This little guy, kind of a bizarre thing. Not sure what function it plays in the human body, but it is an interesting piece. And as we grow older, this area right here becomes a little bit less defined. And we get sort of this kind of weird effect kind of going for it here. But it's, for the most part, it's this pink dot, for lack of a better word. It's right here. We're going to take this line now. We're going to cut right through this, cut right down to that rock wall there. I'm actually going to pull back and down. Back, back, back. I'm going to come back in here with this guy and just pull this back. I need a little bit more eye here. This eye is actually going to be more like so. I'm going to take this, now I'm going to start talking about, first of all, the fact that her eye is not round makes me annoyed. That's all right. Fix that problem, shall we? All right, so we're going to kind of try to bring this about so that we actually make our eye round. round, round, round. I wonder if he'll be friends with me. Anyway. Now you're doing the, did he just make? Yes, he did. He just made a hitchhiker's joke. All right. This guy, we kind of go around the outside edge with this eye here. We're going to take some of these grays and put them into this side table. Because really, honestly, our eyes, our scalia are definitely not white. The whites of our eyes are not, in fact, whites. They are gray-blue-ish. And her eye is turning as it goes out to the side of her face. It won't matter. We're going to have to come back through here and clean it up anyway, but might as well keep going with it. And a couple of things that I also want to make sure this also is mixed around. We're going to do the same thing over here and give her a pupil. Come back, cut under it. I usually have to do this, look back and forth until I figure out whether I've gotten it straight or not. Pretty straight to me. We're good. Then I'll come back in with this brown. Right? I'm gonna take that brown right there. We're gonna come through here. This part of my eyes. This color. You may be asking yourself, now why didn't you start with this brown? And I will answer, because I'm an idiot. And that's really why. It probably would have been a whole lot better off if I'd started out with their eyes being brown. But hey, yeah, I never know how things go, you know? In this instance, I have no clue what I'm doing. Clearly have no idea what I'm talking about. So yeah, there's that. And so, we're just kind of going with the flow here. Just do what we do. Do what we do. So there we go. Pull this around. And just like before, when we take the blender, we got to go around the pupil like so. This way everything kind of moves in like this. Like that. And we can take and go back in with this black and bring that pupil back out. And come back through. I'm going ahead and just do that and bring that in. Now both of her eyes sort of match. Looking though at the picture, this inner part of her eye comes back up and around like so. It's actually kind of lovely. But it's like that. A little bit. Her eyes do not feel like they're lined up, but that's okay. We may have to go back through and argue. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. All right. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take some of this color. Just get under this eye. We're going to come through here. Same before, the concentric fold. She's got the definite fold in her eyes. I'm going to take this very dark brown though, and I'm just going to do this. Right? And then we're going to define that epicanthric fold. Epicanthric fold. I'm just going to bring a little bit of that up to the top, like so that I can take the blender. I'm going to come back down around it like this. And that defines it. It's part of this, part of her eye. But now I can take this color, this lighter color right through, maybe even here. I'm just going to come back to the center section like this. And that'll brighten that whole area up. And we can get into here and do the same thing. Give her just a little bit of highlight there. We can work that back out. And then when you look at it from far away, it actually looks pretty decent, pretty operable. And though this eye is dramatically going that way, it actually is dramatically going straight. Dramatically going this way. Oh boy. This is dramatically kind of coming out like that. That doesn't mean I'm not going to keep kind of going this way with it, but we're going to give room for the anatomy in here, folks. Even going kind of down a little bit like so. There. That whole part of her eye is coming into this zone, coming down. Even. So kind of doing this number. And just like we did with the other eye, we're going to have to do the same thing with this eye. And go up onto that layer that's up here. We don't actually have that layer anymore because I flattened it. Because that's the way I am, and you can't stop me, or I don't know, something. Do the same thing we're going to kind of do over here. Actually kind of play in on sort of this, but we've got to stop right here at this eye, or at the eyelash. So we're going to put in some blue to kind of illustrate that there's blue in this, sort of whatever. I don't know. I'll go through and smooth it out so that it's not, I need to get it to blend out the other direction. People. It's blending with nothing, so it's freaking out. There we go. You take the hard eraser, trim across like that. We'll trim through like so. And then we'll do the same thing we did before. Right? Then once we merge this down, then we're going to take the white direct. We're just going to come in here. This G pin, just like so. Just gives her a little bit of life, right? Brings the life into this eye, into these eyes. Makes it so that we can see it. But the other thing is, you just take along the water line here. You can even put like this in here. And this helps as well to give that feeling there's something going on here. Because along the bottom of the eye, you get a lot of water down there. Even if you're not crying, you still get some water that builds up at this point in your eye. And that gives this a lot of life. Okay? And you can actually really see it now that we've done that. The eyes look really alive. Now we've popped them. We've made them look really good. So now I've got this mess that I call a nose. I don't even know what my problem is. I got 30 minutes to fix that nose. Then we're calling it for the night. One thing I'm going to do, though, I'm going to take this. I'm going to get a much more rosy sort of color out of here. Get into this zone. That's the wrong pen. I need my skin brush for this. My skin brush up onto that. Some big. I don't mind having that brown there, but I really want more of this color. Okay, going from under here. And this kind of goes across and out like so. Right, kind of moving in like this zone up here, moving out sort of like this. And then I can take this guy and blend him in. Now kind of give this sort of follow the contours effect here. Right, kind of moving out like so. There we go. Just trying to kind of get this to blend a little bit more. I am feeling like I do have a little bit of a control problem going on with my pen. I've got an all or nothing effect going again. I hate that all or nothing effect. That's all right. So far we can do pretty well without it, having to worry about it at this moment. So we'll do that in a minute. The other thing I'm noticing is I did not put the Picanthro fold on her other eye. So we're going to do that. I'm going to go in here and just grab a dark brown, like right here. And I'm just going to right here. That's where that is. So do it again. Kind of go riddle on her eyes. So it's right there. And we'll have to go in for this because we're going to have to zoom in for this. And again, I'm going to kind of pull a larger brush and then just kind of go like this along the outside edge, like so. And we're going to come back through and just clean that up. Give everything in here a little bit of color and bring that through. Bring this up and through and just bring it down. And then I can take this, grab this color, just kind of go back through and go over it like so. Hey, George. There we go. I can take this, go like this, just really blend that in. There we go. So now we've kind of blended that into the zone, but the problem, of course, is that in this zone right here, we've got darkness through here from the top of her nose. So we've got this great triangle that lives right here, which is going to give us some good darkness through this zone, but it's not dark there, and it's not really dark on top of the Picanthro fold. So one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to come back in here and take this, and I'm just going to come back in with this really bright, this bright color right maybe here or here, just along the edge here. Just do this and bring it back. Nope, nope, nope. It's too close. Bring it back. Same thing down here. I'm going to bring that into this. Introduce this color a little bit more here. A little bit less. So what we're doing is I'm just coming back through and I'm just cutting into this zone a little bit here. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm making up words. I'm like Shakespeare, just making up words. Right, there we go. Just trying to kind of get that fold to look less like it's, kind of hanging out here, more like it's doing something else. I don't know. Okay, go through here. I'm going to grab a bigger brush. And we're going to take this line right here and do more like this. We're going to make that wider. So come back up through with the red, because this is still a red area. Remember how we had the red area before? This is definitely a red area. We want to make sure this sort of fits. Now, the thing that's interesting about this particular individual is that her eye is very flat right there, like remarkably so. So I'm going to make sure I come back down and cut like so, because this is a very interestingly flat. I mean, it's just like really sharp. Her other eye is too. this. Just gonna take the larger brush and come back through it like so. Take this and come through here. There we go. And there her eyes are. They actually look pretty solid. The nose is still a disaster, but the eyes look great. Oh, I shouldn't be left unattended. Yeah, just saying. Just take this right there. There we go. And that's how we put in those eyes and make them work. Now I'm going to take this black. Her hair isn't actually black. It's actually brown on the outside edge. So I'm going to start going ahead and laying that in. Like out here. That's the wrong brush. Laying in that brown out here. Give that outer layer, that outer shell of her hair. And then, same thing over here, although this is going to be markedly more bright because that's where our sun is. So at this point in time, we're going to start getting kind of this coloring in here, like right through this area, right, especially. So we need to be cognizant of that. We're going to bring this around or just give some variation on our hair in here. And pulling this back around, all I'm really doing with this is just making sure that I know that it's going to have a connection to her face at some point in time. So go ahead and make sure we've got that. Bring this back down like so. Bring it up for her earlobe. Then we've got whatever is happening here with the hair. It's going to happen in front of her face. So we've got that. We're going to bring this back around the backside like so, because that's where the light is on this. And then bring it through like so. And we're actually going to get a highlight through here on the top of the lobe of the ear, right through that section through there. I'm going to take a little bit of this red that we've got here, and I'm going to bring it in like so. And that's just going to be all the way around. So it gets to about here. Through. So, yar. Kind of like this. So I'm going to do the same thing. Kind of bring it in for the inner ear. Right, like so. Like that. And then we get the little nibby thingy, whatever this thing's called. That's the technical term. Nibby thingy. Now you've learned something. Okay. And then I could just bring in some variegation in the skin tones and stuff like that, so we get sort of a difference in how these skin tones kind of work, and a little bit of just kind of shaking this whole area up a little, and things like that. And then we kind of make that just that way, and it will be fine as time goes on. And there we go. And such is the way. This is the way. Now, I'm getting pretty annoyed by this nose. Just going to say it now. I'm getting kind of annoyed by the nose. So let's talk about the nose. We're good with this side. This side looks fine. It's the other side that's starting to drive me crazy. Okay, so let's kind of work on this a little here. So if we were to put the other nostril, and it'd be like right here. Then we could do this entire thing where this is the bottom. We could pretend like that's the filtrum, which is this thing right here. And put that there. And then this could be that cute little connector that goes underneath there, and all would be good, and the birds would sing and the flowers would bloom, right? In theory. Why am I having such a problem with this? Because that's the way it goes, is that right there. And I just drew it. And so all I need to do is just confirm that that's what we're doing. There we go. Just like that. Perfect. Well, as perfect as we're going to get right now. Right? And then there is the cut that goes up to the top of the nose. And we can go back in there and work on that and shape that out here in just a second, which we will do by taking this guy and going deep, 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 deep. Come in here, we'll do this. A little bit of highlight right through here, which just a taste right there. That comes up just like this. So we're getting just the bottom of the nose right here, just a little bit, right? We can go back through now and just kind of. I like to go back through. Like I've set up the design, and then I come back in with the brushes that are appropriate for that. Really need that to be like that. I really want it to look more like that. So somebody, if you guys are just joining me, somebody a while back on Midjourney put in a request for a girl in armor, Asian girl in armor. Cool, whatever. I watched it come up and said, hey, that's kind of cool. I want to try to paint it. So now I'm doing painting of an AI drawing. And that's what we're doing. I'm painting the drawing. I am not using the drawing for trace or anything like that. I'm just using it as a reference picture. I don't know where the art came from because, of course, it's AI generated, so I'm never going to know. But I did like the picture, and so kind of rolling with it on this one. So this is my misappropriation use of AI. Me misappropriating AI. Oh well. Not 100% sure that I'm being, on the level on this one or not. I'm not even really sure what's going on here, but it's all right. The world of AI, you do what you can. So, intentionally trying not to trace this, so I'm kind of relying heavily on my ability to do this with some reasonable decency here and controlling the situation, controlling the whatever the heck I'm controlling at this point in time, because I'm not sure I know what I'm controlling, but that's okay. But I am having fun doing this, so there's that. Did that work better? Yeah, actually that worked pretty well. Her nose feels markedly like it's supposed to, I guess, there. So I'll come back around on this. Now we'll fix up her lips. Now, her lips are, of course, the classic Asian full lips. So we're going to kind of do that. I've got a divot on either side. And her mouth is open just a little bit in the picture. So I'm going to bring down her lips there to each side. And then we're going to come back in with this dark brown and just kind of do this. The drawing has her lips have these beautiful points, and there's a certain amount of what we call a bow to her lips. So they kind of do this, and then they part here, come back together there. So we're going to do that. Just eyeballing this here. And then we can bring this down just a little bit more like that, and that bows that area. And we've got the same bow over here. And the truth is, this then comes down like so, and so does this, giving her lips much more of a full function. And then it bows down right through here too. So it comes back up and around. All right. That's kind of ridiculous, but we do what we can. Her lips also move this way, so they're sticking out. One could argue that these are what we call pouty lips. One could argue all kinds of things. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this color, and I'm going to bring it back, but I'm going to dull it out. Because even though, these kind of ridiculous colors here, we'll kind of like these being this way. We'll come along the bottom of this. Just give some, I'm adding some differences in color here, because it's going to take some effort to get through here. This one. All right, so we're going to do that. We're going to go all the way underneath like so. She's got kind of a deep shadow going for this here. There we go. Yeah. All right. Now we're going to zoom in on this. Here's what we're going to do. Take this pink. We're going to get a light pink. And we're going to move on this side. It goes kind of like this. And it goes like this because it's meeting the bottom of the lips up there. And moves back. This is this variegated line which goes through there. This we'll just kind of pull through like this, and it has this going for it. Right, so we're getting the highlight, the same highlight we've got going this direction. And we're going to take this right here to do that. Now, what is happening over here is completely weird to me, but that's all right. What we're getting is this comes all the way down to the edge of her mouth like so. Then we get this kind of dark right through. It comes up like this. It goes out like so. And then comes down like this. And that's not her mouth, it's shadow. So then I can take this, and I come back through, And just kind of do the thing I normally do, which is kind of spread this out a little bit, make sure this is a little variegated. Just there we go, like that. And then I can take this and I'll just come through like so. Just bring it back. Because we want this shadow right here. That shadow is fascinating to me because what we're trying to kind of produce in here is this interesting effect that her lips are producing at this point. There's a real red that's going on back here. It's a very rich red. That's going to be right through here. No. She looks remarkably buck-toothed all of a sudden. We'll fix this, don't worry. I'm going to try that again. It's weirdly purplish on the front, which is kind of strange right here. Not not doing bad. Her mouth might be just a little small. Not bad, just small slightly. It also might not be lined up. Another issue. It should be directly underneath that, the filter.
Minutes remaining.
Wow, she startled me. Wasn't even ready for 5 minutes. Wasn't ready for the 5-minute call. This goes all the way to here and then comes back with her nose making this interesting curve right here. Okay, let's see if we did that right. No, because now her nose and her mouth look wrong. All right, her mouth was in the right place. It's like having your heart in the right place, I guess. Her mouth was in the correct place, but the nose is off. That's weird. Her mouth in the correct place again. Then her nose is in the right place now. Who wants to join me on painting? I mean, it's obviously so much easy. It's so easy. Anybody can do this. All right. Straight down the middle here. And I think the thing I'm missing here is this. This nostril, for reasons that are beyond me, needs to be like right here. So that her nose, the tip of her nose is this way. And that's part of it. One of those things where it's like, don't be afraid to get in there and just move stuff around. The best part about digital painting is that it's digital. You can just keep moving crap around. Come in here and do this. Tip her nose out here, kind of doing that kind of thing, and go under here. Interesting. That plane right through there fascinates me. And this all heads down to about here and then just gives up. Stops working going down there. And I get more of this color. Comes in this way. That's fascinating to me. Really fascinating. All right, come over here and grab this guy. I'll keep working on it. I like this piece. It's kind of coming along nicely. But you can see where we are in about 2 hours, right? That's where we are in about 2 hours. That's our problem right there. Much better. Now we'll look. Much better. Still need to patch this guy in, but I'm not worried about that as much. Right up here. I do need to add in those teeth, but I'm now getting kind of leery of it, Like I feel like it's this color. Except it's not. The dividing line has to be here. Well, sort of worked. Did not work like I wanted it to, but it sort of worked. We're gonna have to get under here with this. Much better. Now I like this picture. It's not bad. I'm loath to flip it, though. I'm afraid that if I do this, I'm going to hate myself. Oh, no, it's actually not bad flipped. I didn't do horrible. It's a little bit more like here. but it's not horrible. It's not horrible. All right, guys. That's where we made it to. It's not bad. Not bad at all. I'll continue it in the morning. If you want to join me in the morning, that'd be wonderful. That'd be great. So you join me in the morning. Do that. We'll see what happens. See you all later. Thank you for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. I'll see you all later. And as always, keep your eyes to the stars. Good night.